Okay, well here I am in Whiting Bay, Dave the Rave roving the rock. I'm right on the shore. I'm just starting, or about to start my cycle. I've decided to cycle today. If you're looking on the world map, or Google map as it is nowadays, used to be like a globe when I was a boy. You would see I'm going to cycle from Whiting Bay to Lamlash, and then I'm going to cycle up the Ross Road, and right along the Ross Road until I get to the south, across Kilmory way, and then back round past Kildonan and back round to Whiting Bay again. It is something that is filling me with a wee bit of, not dread, because I actually like cycling, but it's daunting because I have my dad's old touring push bike with me. I'm no fancy racer, so the bike itself is practical but slow. I don't have a spare inner tube or anything like that, any backup plan. I've just got the bike and me. And I was thinking about it, is it so bad not having an inner tube with me, or any kind of backup plan? Well, as a boy I used to cycle from Glasgow up to Loch Lomond and Balloch. In fact, I even cycled to Oban one time and round to Arran and back, and I didn't have any kind of backup plan or inner tube at that point. Alright. So maybe it's not such a bad thing to not have a backup plan. I never needed one when I was young, so it's only a state of mind, or else a state of stupidity. Possibly I was hopelessly optimistic and or didn't even think about things at all when I was young, and now I am. In any case, I'm doing the same things I would have done 40 years previously, but this time I'm of an age where I receive a bus pass next year. So cycling up the Ross Road is not something that I'm going to take lightly. I don't want to cycle down the Ross Hill. It's like the steepest hill in the island, massive. Oh, there's a wee kid getting stuck there on the sea wall. Gosh. Okay, she's alright, good. Because yes, it's not something I want to take lightly, because but I don't want to cycle down it because I don't think my brakes are good enough. I'm not high on bike maintenance, so I think I have to cycle up it and then cycle over the Ross into the facing with the wind. I'll be going into the wind, and then the end bit will be with the wind behind me, which will be a relief. Hopefully it won't rain. The forecast isn't bad. I don't have any backup plan for that either. Anyway, I suppose I better get on with it. Whiting Bay is looking amazing today. I'm looking right over Sam Braes. I'm on the shore, like I said, and it's high tide. The sea is just bashing into the edge of the shore, but it looks great. This is a January day. It's just amazing, and I'm very lucky to be out on a bicycle at this time of year. So I will feel a lot of satisfaction when or if I complete this planned journey. I'd better get on with it anyway. Okay, there's the wee kid back up now. That's fine, back up. Line collapsed. Anyway, that's fine. There was a wee kid that went down the seawall and came back up again. But that's okay. Okay, I better get on with it. Cheers. Before I leave Whiting Bay altogether, I thought I'd actually just show you this, stop at this little bit here. And this is one of the 4 bus shelters in the north end of the island. And they've been hand painted by David Aitchison, who's a local to Whiting Bay. And this is one of the 4, possibly my favourite one. I just love it. It's got Sam Braes church and the wee row of houses there, and a rainbow, and it says above it, there's a place for us. And the whole bus shelter has been painted. In fact, they were going to be taken down and replaced with plastic ones, or whatever the modern equivalent is, and they got saved, and they're just works of art now. They're worth coming to see, these 4 wonderful bus shelters in Whiting Bay, and just a work of art to sit in. It's such a privilege to be able to do that. I just love it. So hopefully it will stay like this for a very long time. It's very nice just now, and it's got no graffiti or anything on it. There we go. Okay, this is me ready to go on my trusty steed. I've got my bell. I've got everything I need. Better get on with it. Cheers. Well, here I am at the top of the Ross Road. So I've made it, that's the first thing. I would say my plan of attack at the bottom was quite simple. Engage first gear, lowest gear, go nice and slowly, and just keep pedalling. Don't stop till you get to the top. That's the main thing. And additionally, if possible, try not to stand on the pedals and keep your bum on the seat. So that was my plan. The second part of that plan is really a test of strength, and also you need a nice low gear to do that. My touring bike's got 7 gears times 3, so it might not have all the gears of maybe a mountain bike or something, but it's got more than my old racer. And I cycle maybe, I would say 20 miles a week, a couple of times 10 miles maybe. But anyway, so that was the test. I've made it. I've got up the hill. It's a bit windy, so hopefully you can hear me. I also got up the hill without taking my bum out the saddle, which was a good thing. I almost stopped actually because there were some sheep in the road, and they were so close they weren't even bothered about me at all. And so I could have touched them, to be honest. I wouldn't do that because you've got to be respectful of the animals. I mean, I might want to touch a sheep, but I'm sure a sheep doesn't want me to touch them. They just want to eat grass, so I didn't do that. And but they were, I don't know, a feet or two away from me, just not bothered at all. And remember, I'm going really slowly, very slowly in fact. I would say, I forget if it's Malcolm Campbell or Donald Campbell that had the world land speed record, but in any case, the Campbell clan would not be impressed with my speed coming up the Ross Hill, which I think is about 700 feet of straight climb from sea level to the top, and it doesn't stop for a second, it just carries on the whole time. So I'm very pleased that I've got up here. Actually, I'm chuffed, because I've always considered this a kind of a test of my fitness. As long as I can get up this hill either running or cycling at any speed without stopping, I'm doing all right. This is a big hill, and I've done that, and not only that, I've done that, but I've done that without taking my bum out the saddle, just like I said. And I've just stopped, and as you can probably hear, I'm not out of breath really. I'm just a bit sniffly because it's windy up here. I'll just do that there. And I'm really quite happy, to be honest. I'm feeling fine. So barring a puncture, I'm expecting to be able to complete this cycle without really any problems. I'm feeling quite warm. I'm right at the top of the Ross, and it's not too cold. So I'm quite pleased, to be honest. This has been a good plan. Anyway, so there we go. Right, I'll get on with the next part of it, and I'll stop whenever I see anything interesting. Okay, cheers. Okay, I've stopped again here because I'm just starting my way back down the other side from the Ross Road, and this wonderful view of the road as it snakes down through this long valley down towards the sea at the other side of the island is in front of me. It's a wonderful view. I can see maybe 3 miles of the road in front of me, I'm guessing, at least 2, probably 3, and a house right at the end of it. In fact, from memory, I think that's the place where Jack McConnell was brought up, if I'm right with that. But anyway, there's forestry on each side of me going right up the hills, but the valley itself is just clear, and it just opens the view up right the way down to the hills beyond. I can hear the wind in the forestry behind me, but it's not actually really hitting me because I'm sheltered by the trees. So it's nice and calm, even though the wind is noisy. And it's just lovely to be here, it really is. It's not sunny, but it's dry. To be up here this high in January, no snow, no ice, quite comfortable, is a real privilege. So this bike's done very well so far. I'm just thinking I'm just going to really enjoy cycling back down that valley. So there we go. Okay, I've stopped again further along the Ross Road, and I've stopped because I'm at Glen Scorridale. This is the Buddhist retreat, International Buddhist retreat, and it's an old farm, I think. But the point about this is where Jack McConnell was brought up, who became the First Minister for Scotland, and so this is the only house that I've passed all the way along this road. There haven't been any other houses at all, or farms, or or anything whatsoever. Just this one little group of buildings here and nothing else. It's completely devoid of life, this road, apart from animal life of course in the hills, and that just makes it interesting for me. What would it be like to be brought up in a location like this? Of course you've got no street lights, you've got no noise apart from, of course I can hear the sound of running water. There's a little river here, so you're going to hear that the whole time. That'd be lovely. Really no traffic to speak of. So total peace and quiet. I'm just going a bit closer to the river to hear it. Just as you would say, the back of beyond. So I don't know if that affects what he became or if it was just chance. Just being brought up in a location like this, having time to think about things and consider things without distraction, is that a good thing? Does that lead to, does that help make people more thoughtful and help them to promote themselves, to become more mature kind of people who ponder things through properly? I don't know. Anyway, I can't imagine what it's like to live here, but it would be nice to find out. Anyway, there we go. Right, I'll get on with it a bit more. Okay, I've stopped at the top of a hill just before I go into Lagg, and this is where the Lagg Distillery is, and that's the main reason I've stopped. It's such a nice building, I'm looking right at it. It's a new distillery, so it's got a modern design, two kind of triangle shaped roofs joining in the middle, very pretty, and more importantly than that, it has a wonderful view. So I'm just going to, the wind's quite something up here, very exposed. I'll just have a bit more shelter behind the sign that says Lagg Distillery. It's quite a big sign, hopefully that will help me a little bit. Anyway, I'm just pointing the camera back down the road, and I can see all the way down the road, I don't know, about 3 miles, 4 miles, houses in the distance, the hills beyond that, and the mainland further on beyond that as well. I can also see right round from the sea. It's a a bit windy there. Panoramic view right round of the mainland and the sea as well. Okay, I've stopped now at Lagg, and the reason I've done that is because in front of me is the Lagg Hotel and the Velo Cafe, and these buildings are just beautiful. There's no other way to describe it. It's the oldest hotel on the island. I think, from memory, it says the date 1791 above the front door, but I'll just have a look at it. And there are a collection of buildings here that are just lovely. It's such a nice little spot. I'm just walking past them here. Black and white old building with very fancy woodwork above the windows. See, 1791 it says on it. So it's just a lovely place. Really, I really can't think of a prettier building, to be honest. And looking down the road, more little cottages, black and white cottages, the lovely bridge that goes over the centre, and gardens on my right, lovely and peaceful, little palm trees, no traffic to speak of. Of course this is the winter time and the roads are very quiet, so it's great for cycling actually, as long as you can stay warm. Very pretty gardens here, lovely lawn in front of me, and that's me just approaching the river now, going over the bridge and looking down onto it. So all these houses have got this sound the whole time. Just lovely. And then some more little cottages in front of me, and another little chocolate box cottage, that's what they call them, chocolate box cottage, down on the other side of the road as well. I remember seeing a picture of the Queen Mother coming here with a little cavalcade of cars just going over this bridge. I've seen a photo of this many years ago. So, yep, beautiful. And I'm glad to be here because this is familiar to me. I cycle to here quite often from Whiting Bay, and I've made it. I know I can run this far if I have a problem with the bike. I can run from here back to Whiting Bay no problem. I'm not a bad runner. So I'll just dump the bike and run back if I had a problem. I have got a phone, but I haven't actually worked out how to use it yet. That's a job for tomorrow. Said that before. Hopefully I will do it tomorrow. I am intending to take out my first phone contract and work out how it works. There we go. And then I'll have a phone and I'll take an inner tube with me, and I'll be very sensible for the rest of my life. The end. Sensible Dave instead of Dave the Rave. Roving the Rock, of course. And I haven't said, of course, I'm on arransound.com. You can hear these wee excerpts there and also see the footage on YouTube as well. Okay, one last look. Beautiful. I'm back on the bike again. Okay, I've stopped at this last place before I come down to Kildonan. I'm still just quite high up on a hill, and it's just going to start tumbling down quite fast to High Kildonan, and then I'll go along High Kildonan and back to Whiting Bay via Dippen. But I've got this last wonderful viewpoint before that happens, right on the bend of a road. I can see all the way down to Low Kildonan and the Kildonan Hotel. On the left there's a small clacking of houses just up on the hill, about 6 houses high up on their own, and a whole lot of sheep, and that's about it. Beautiful rolling countryside, there's no forestry here, and the sea below me with Plada Isle easily seen. No sign of Ailsa Craig. Ailsa Craig has decided to do a runner for the day, so and the thing is, it's a bit of a squall coming, a bit. The weather's changing, it's raining slightly, it's very windy now, the wind's picked up more. I can see the white horses on the sea. It's rolling across the sea from right to left, and since I've got my back to the wind, I'm looking down that same direction, right down the main road towards Kildonan, with the wind blowing into Kildonan. So it's just a lovely view. The fields on the right go all the way down to the sea. The sea's maybe half a mile down the hill in front of me, and the road's completely empty. Thinking about it now, I haven't passed one vehicle all the way since I left the main road in Lamlash to here. Not one. I have passed one cyclist on the Ross Road, and that's it. Nothing else. Nobody else. Haven't seen anybody, haven't had any cars. I put my lights on my bicycle because I thought I should, but actually it's really a pointless task. I can see where I'm going, and I'm not going to get hit by anybody when there's nobody. So I'm the only fool on the road. I'm the most dangerous person on the road today. The only danger to myself, which is actually plenty to be going on with, I think, since I've not really that much of an idea what I'm doing on a bicycle. I'll say one more thing. I was harking back earlier to when I was young, and you wouldn't think of any backup plans, so I didn't take any tools or inner tubes or any kind of puncture repair kit or anything, and it's the same today. But when I was young, I was brave. For example, I mean, I would skid the whole time, and I would let go of the handlebars and cycle no handies, as you call it. I've never done that since I started cycling again, you know, in recent years, and I haven't let go of the handlebars. No problem with one hand on the handlebar, but I don't ever cycle with no hands on the handlebar, and I almost feel I should, just because I used to 40 years ago, but I haven't. So I'm thinking I have changed. I'm still just as reckless when it comes to being idiotic and taking precautions and things in case things go wrong, but I'm not taking the risks. So isn't that funny? I have changed in that respect. at least acknowledging the danger on the road, even if I'm not taking any precautions for a mechanical breakdown. So that's how I've changed and progressed. Hopefully I'll come the whole way and start thinking about being sensible as well. Sensible Dave, that's who I'm going to become, and not Dave the Rave. I'm going to concentrate on that. Okay, so this is me, Sensible Dave. Sensible. I'm being sensible today. I'm going to be sensible forever. Okay, are you convinced now? Okay. Sensible Dave, over and out. Right, I'm back in Whiting Bay again now. It's just getting dark, and I've timed it quite nicely. I've just put the bike back actually, because I live right here. I'm on the main road at the moment, and I'm right in the centre of the village, and it's the bike's come back. I've just come back out onto the road, stand on the road for a minute, and it's just getting dark. So the whole cycle I didn't need my lights to see where I was going. It really timed very nicely, and also the squall I was talking about earlier has come in pretty much full force now. So I've got strong winds, and the rain is driving from Kildonan towards Lamlash, so from the south. That was nice when I was doing the end part of my cycle. In fact, I started whooping at one point coming down the hill from Kildonan into Whiting Bay, because the wind was so strong behind me that I really hardly had to pedal at all, which was nice. Of course, the other side of that is that it was in my face, as I predicted, all the way up the Ross Hill. But it made the end part of the cycle very easy. I started to get wet towards the end of it. It's raining now. It's just getting heavier, which was the forecast, and so this is what I was aiming for. I was hoping to get back before it got dark and also before the rain came, and I've pretty much exactly done that. I just got the tail end of the rain, and I never actually really needed lights to see where I'm going, because although it's quite dusky just now, actually you can see fine when you're cycling, and the lights are really, till it gets pitch black, the lights are really just for other road users. If you're sitting in a car and you're looking out the window, it might seem like everything's black out there, but actually a cyclist, their eyes can adjust to things very easily and see an awful lot more than a car driver can. So I was quite lucky, but I started to get cold towards the end of the cycle, a little bit. My hands were kind of frozen. It did take a bit longer than it would have, because of course I kept stopping and filming things, and so that adds up to the time it took me to go round. And the other thing is, of course, I was taking my time, which was nice. I didn't tire me out at all. So I'm standing right in the centre, and I'm beside the putting green, and I'm looking out seawards, straight over the top of the jetty. Can't see the mainland. Sky's grey, the sea's very dark grey, so that's a sign of things to come. You can always tell what's coming just from the darkness of the sea. The street lights are on all the way along Whiting Bay. There is the odd car passing here, but then I'm in the centre of the village. 2 or 3 have passed since I came out, and but it's not bad. Pretty good for January. The tide is out now, and that makes sense, or at least it's going out, because when I first left, I think it was pretty much fully in. So I would say it's not all the way out yet, but it's on its way out. It's quite a long way out. And I am feeling chuffed that I did that cycle, because that's the longest one I've done. You know, I'm not a keen cyclist. I don't have all the fancy gear, and I managed it quite easily. And the only thing I'd say about that, I think what's helped me is because when I'm at work I do half an hour of exercise every day, in my lunch break, and what I do almost really every time is just go up and down the stairs over and over again, and then do some exercises in between. But mostly what I'm doing is I'm doing strength running training, going up and down the stairs, and I do that deliberately because I know that going up the stairs is obviously good for your quads and your strength. You have to push hard to get out of breath, but also going down the stairs is also equally good for you because it works bigger muscles in a different way. I know they're both good for me, so I do that, and I believe that the stairs are very good for cycling because they're using the same muscles, the quadriceps. So it's a kind of a test, really. I was wondering if I might be not bad on the bike because I go on the bike once or twice a week. There's a bus coming, a few cars, I'll just cross the road. And so I do some cycling, but also I go up and down these stairs every other day. So I'm doing one of those two things really every day, and it seems to have worked out that way. I had great strength going up the Ross Hill, and thinking about it, that is the biggest hill on the island, the biggest road hill, and I just went straight up it, no problem. And I'm quite chuffed about that. And well, I wasn't tired at the top. Well, the wind's picking up now. So yeah, it's been a success. It makes me wonder, maybe I might go further. I'm thinking what I might do is go at some point off the north end once the weather gets better. Maybe drive up to Lagg and then go off, cycle down to Campbelltown and back, or up to Tarbert, that kind of thing. And come back, and once the wee boat from Lagg to Cloneg's back on for the summer, that might be nice. But yeah, I've certainly enjoyed it, and I feel like I've earned my dinner. So something has been achieved, and it worked out very nicely. So happy with that. Hopefully it will result in a good night's sleep as well. Okay. The only other thing I was going to do, I was going to cycle and film at the same time. I didn't get around to it because that squall came, and really I thought, well, I better just get back before it gets really bad, which it is getting bad now. I don't know if you can actually hear the rain, but it's not that great. So I never did film and cycle at the same time, but I'll do that next time. I'm allowed to do that, so that's something. I just want to see how the microphone will work, because this is the small camera that I take on these journeys, not the big fancy one with the windproofing. So do that another time. Anyway, there we go. Right, mission completed. Dave the Rave, roving the rock, over and out.